Picture this, if you will. You wake up, it's a perfectly ordinary day, or so your analog clock would have you believe. You reach for your phone, that glowing rectangle of infinite possibility. But today it's just a rectangle. No notifications, no emails, no comforting Wi-Fi symbol. The internet, yes, has decided to take a day off, globally, for everyone. It's not just your dodgy broadband provider this time, this is the big one. The digital apocalypse. For 24 hours? The initial shock would be something, wouldn't it? A collective, worldwide, followed by a frantic tapping on screens, then the slow dawning horror, like realizing you've left the house without your trousers. But everyone, everywhere has forgotten their trousers. This isn't just an inconvenience, folks. This is a fundamental system failure. Let's start with the offices, shall we? Those gleaming temples of productivity, or, places we go. Suddenly silence. Not golden silence. The deafening silence of no emails pinging, no Slack notifications, no cloud documents updating. People would just stare at blank screens. What do you talk to colleagues? Preposterous. Productivity would plummet faster than a disgraced politician's approval ratings. It would be a forced day of twiddling thumbs and contemplating career changes. Perhaps to something more robust like artisanal chisel making. And what about the glorious world of e-commerce? Amazon, gone. eBay, vanished. Your Etsy store selling knitted cat hats, closed. All those packages zipping around the world based on digital orders. They'd just stop or get very, very confused. Imagine the warehouses full of stuff with no instructions on where it should go. It's like Santa's workshop, but Santa's had a bit too much eggnog and lost the list. The global supply chain, already as fragile as a celebrity marriage, would snap. No online shopping means no dopamine hit from buying things you don't need. The horror. Then there's navigation. Good old GPS, that calming voice telling you to turn left in 200 feet. Communication, that thing we supposedly do, it would take a monumental hit, a knockout blow. Social media, your Instagram feed of perfect brunches, frozen. Twitter, that bastion of calm, reasoned debate, mercifully silent. Facebook? You wouldn't know if your Aunt Carol finally mastered Wordle. The collective FOMO fear of missing out would be palpable, or maybe, just maybe, a tiny bit of relief for some. No more doom scrolling, no more comparing your life to curated fantasies. Just the terrifying reality of your own immediate surroundings, and the people in them. Good luck with that. Emails, the lifeblood of modern business, and let's be fair, the source of most of our passive-aggressive interactions. Gone. Vanished into the digital ether. Urgent requests, important updates, that hilarious cat gif from Brenda in accounts. None of it would arrive. Imagine the backlog when the internet finally flickers back on. It would be like a digital dam bursting. A tsunami of unread messages, each more passive-aggressive than the last. As per my email, which you clearly didn't receive because the world ended. Productivity would suffer. Sanity would fray. Right, let's talk travel, or the sudden lack thereof. Airlines, those magnificent flying tubes of recycled air and mild anxiety. They rely on the internet for booking systems, internet, flight scheduling, internet, air traffic control uses its own networks, but coordination, heavily internet reliant. Imagine the chaos at airports. Screens blank, gates unassigned, planes grounded, or worse, stuck in a holding pattern with no updates. It would be a global game of where's my plane? And nobody would have the answer, except maybe not here, mate. Trains and buses, the workhorses of public transport. They too have become increasingly digital. Real-time information boards, blank. Online ticket purchases, impossible. Scheduling systems, probably having a meltdown. Commuters would be stranded, confused and increasingly grumpy, which for many commuters is just a slightly worse Tuesday, but still. The scale of it would be unprecedented. People trying to get to work, to school, to important appointments. Section 5, Wall Street's big unscheduled coffee break. Now, let's turn our gaze to the delightful world of high finance. Wall Street, the stock market, capitalism's glittering casino. What happens when the internet, its very nervous system, gets unplugged? Well, for starters, high-frequency trading, which is basically robots playing pass the parcel with billions of dollars at lightning speed, would stop. Instantly. The robots would just sit there, digitally shrugging. Information flow, the lifeblood of market movements would cease. No news updates, no company announcements, no panicked tweets from Elon Musk. Just silence. A terrifying, money-filled silence. It would be like the world's most expensive game of statues. If any trading could happen, perhaps on some archaic, isolated system, imagine the panic. Or more likely, when the internet eventually splutters back to life. The uncertainty would be immense. What happened? Who lost what? Panic selling is a very human reaction to not knowing what the hell is going on. And boy, would we not know what was going on. Fortunes could be wiped out in minutes. Section 6. Our brains unplugged, freedom or freak out. So the internet's gone. What happens inside our heads? Our poor, overstimulated, notification-addicted brains. The first reaction for many? Anxiety. Pure, unadulterated anxiety. That constant itch to check your phone, now it's an unbearable rash. FOMO, fear of missing out, would reach epidemic levels. What crucial memes am I missing? What celebrity feuds are unfolding without my sarcastic commentary? The silence of no pings, no updates, no digital chatter, it would be deafening. And for some, deeply unsettling, like being adrift in a very quiet, very boring ocean, with no Wi-Fi, the ultimate nightmare. But then, something interesting might happen. After the initial panic subsides, a different feeling could emerge for some. Relief? Yes, actual relief. A break from the relentless torrent of information. No pressure to keep up, to respond, to curate your online self. Just being. It's a radical concept, I know. Like discovering a hidden room in your house you never knew existed. Section 7. The unconnected crew who'd just shrug. Now let's be clear, not everyone would be tearing their hair out. There are pockets of humanity who would greet this digital darkness with a shrug, maybe even a contented sigh. Think of remote communities deep in the Amazon rainforest or high in the Himalayas, places where broadband is just a wide river and streaming involves actual water. For them, an internet shutdown is just Tuesday. They have their own networks built on generations of local knowledge and human connection. They'd probably be too busy, surviving to notice our first world digital meltdown. Their Instagram feeds are already pretty sparse, I imagine. Then there are the older generations, not all of them, of course. My nan can TikTok with the best of them. But there's a significant number of folks for whom the internet is still a bit of a novelty, something the grandkids are always fussing over. They remember a time before smartphones, before email, before you could order a pizza with your voice. They know how to use a phone book. They write letters. Section 8, our digital lifeline, too tight a grip. This whole hypothetical nightmare really hammers home one thing. The internet isn't just a fun toy anymore, is it? It's not just for cat videos and arguing about whether a hot dog is a sandwich. It is not. It has become utterly terrifyingly essential to almost every facet of modern life. From how we work, to how we shop, to how we learn, to how we connect with each other. It's the invisible infrastructure holding up our world. Like the plumbing in your house. You don't think about it. Until it bursts and suddenly your living room is a swamp. That's the internet, our global digital plumbing. And that begs the question, doesn't it? Are we too dependent on this thing? Have we put too many eggs in one digital basket? It's one thing for convenience, it's another for critical infrastructure. When hospitals can't access patient records because the Wi-Fi is down. When power grids, water supplies and emergency services are vulnerable. That's when oops, the internet broke stops being funny and starts being genuinely pants-wettingly scary. We've embraced the efficiency and the wonder of it all, but have we properly considered the risks of such profound reliance? Probably not as much as we should have. Classic us. Think of the internet as a utility, like electricity or water. Section 9. Prepping for the unthinkable, duct tape and dreams. So what can we, the humble individuals, do to prepare? Short of becoming a full-blown doomsday prepper with a bunker full of baked beans, well, some basic analog skills wouldn't go amiss. Have some cash at home, not a fortune, just enough for a few days. Download offline maps of your local area onto your phone. Yes, you can do that. Have an actual physical list of important phone numbers. Remember phone numbers, those strings of digits we used to memorize? Maybe even learn how to read a paper map. Radical, I know. It's not about expecting the end of the world. It's about being slightly less helpless if the digital carpet is pulled from under you. What about businesses and governments? Their role is a bit bigger. They need robust contingency plans, real ones. Not just a dusty binder on a shelf. Redundancy, backup systems that don't rely on the same internet infrastructure, offline protocols for essential services. How do you run a hospital, a police force, a fire department when the networks are down? These are not trivial questions. They require serious thought and investment, and probably a lot of meetings with very boring PowerPoint presentations, but necessary meetings nonetheless.